Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Weekend 3 6 pack. Now I've decided to do this bi-weekly instead of weekly. I'm going to be tackling 6 films that I have seen for the first time, tell you a little bit about what I saw and whether or not you should check this out. So without further ado, let's start off with It's Such a Beautiful Day by Don Hertzfeldt. This is a story, it's a short story. In fact, it's 3 different chapters of this guy who is in this animated short, Bill, who is trying to get together his shattered kind of psyche, his mental state. He's trying to piece together what is everyday kind of nuance situations that he's just going through, everyday mundane kind of things, but also at the same time very important life matters as well. But it's narrated like as Bill's life is going, trying to piece together and try to figure out all this. It's very comedic, it's very dark, it's very weird, because I actually watched all of the other shorts on this Blu-ray. This Don Hertzfeldt guy, he is a very strange character. He makes a lot of strange, kind of postmodern art when it comes to his sketches and his cartoons. But this one really delves into the humanity, and it's extremely well done and extremely pieced together very well. And honestly, the score is fantastic as well. I know it uses a lot of classical pieces and a lot of intense classical pieces as well. I really enjoyed just getting to understand Bill and his character, and I think hopefully you will too. Definitely check out It's Such a Beautiful Day. It's a great short. If you can somehow get it physically, get it physically. If not, just get it online. It's on there somewhere. The next film I'm going to show you is a movie that I actually recently watched for the first time. This is Dario Argento's Suspiria. I'm really looking forward to Luca's newest adaptation that's coming out later this year with Tilda Swinton. I cannot wait to see this movie. But anyway, this is actually about the original Argento film. Suspiria is a very well done and well put together movie. It's classic horror, but it's the Italian horror, which I'm not too familiar with, and I know I'm going to be exploring more of those works as well. But it's very colorful, very bright. The opening is very memorable, and I really loved that aspect of this film because it just sucks you into this supernatural world at this dance academy, like school for girls, and then there's just a lot of crazy shit going on around it. The house has a lot of craziness. There might be some witchcraft and some demonic things going on, and there's just a lot of crazy things in this movie that I thought was really interesting, and I really thought this was a compelling piece. I really loved how I wasn't really familiar with this genre, and that is probably a pretty good start to where I can actually watch more Argento films, although I've never been terribly interested in Argento or the Italian. I don't exactly know how to pronounce that type of film. It starts with a G. I'm going to put it down in the comment. I'm going to put it in right here, so who knows. Anyway, I saw Suspiria for the first time. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to see this movie again. I actually want to see it in theaters sometime, so I'm going to watch the new one in theaters soon. All right, next is actually a documentary series. It is Monty Python, the Almost the Truth. It's a lawyer's cut. This is a hilarious and also kind of sad documentary because it's Graham Chapman. He is not in this documentary. It's the Pythons, all of them right there. You got Terry Gilliam, Terry Jones, Graham Chapman, who's no longer there. You got Eric Idle. You've got John Cleese, and I'm literally blanking on the last one. I cannot think of who I'm missing out. Michael Palin. Come on, jeez. Anyway. So it has all the Pythons in it, and it's them recounting their entire history as the Python troupe, and the stuff beforehand, the stuff during the show, the flying circus, stuff at Monty Python, the Holy Grail, the Life of Brian, the Meaning of Life, all the way up to where they're doing Broadway stuff now, how they have different projects. This came out in, I want to say, 2012. It was not too long ago, 2009, so it's 2010, 2009, that rough area. So it's been a couple years since this came out, and I was luckily able to see all of it. It was hilarious, it was sad at the same time, but it was just mostly funny. It's just all of those sketches that are hilarious, kind of just reflecting what society's like back in England during that time period, and also there's the social aspects, and they made fun of everybody. That's just why I loved so much of it. They made a lot of Nazi jokes, a lot of comedy jokes, a lot of uppity capitalistic kind of jokes as well. And it's just, they went all over the place with it, and I thought it was hilarious. They were never really fully political. They were just making fun of everybody, and that's what I love about it. And I love British humor, and I love Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I've already talked about that enough, so definitely check out, if you haven't, Monty Python, Almost the Truth, the Lawyer's Cut documentary. Try to find it somehow. All right, so that is my third pick. My fourth pick is a film that I recently saw and picked up because it just came out on Blu-ray in America, Ghost Stories. This has Andy Nyman, who is, I think, the main character in this movie. You have Martin Freeman, who you know as from Sherlock and also The Hobbit, Alex Lothar, and Paul Whitehouse. So this movie is it's a really cool and interesting take on how there's three different distinct stories pieced together that are kind of connected to this one guy's life and this one guy who's trying to crack down on paranormal activity. He is trying to figure out, he's trying to say that they're hoaxes. All the ghost stories that they're doing, he used to be like a ghost hunter of some sort, and they're all hoaxes. And so through three different people's tales, he is able to piece together whether or not this is real or not. And it's really interesting. I really love the ending, and I highly recommend checking this movie out. It's a really fun movie, and it's not too groundbreaking, but it also is really cool at the same time. I highly, like I said, check out Ghost Stories. All right, the fifth movie that I have on my list is a Spike Lee original, Do the Right Thing. There it is right there on the front, and Sal's Pizzeria. This movie was interesting. I didn't expect it to be as divisive as it was. It's Spike Lee, though, I should know. I like the very first half a lot. I really like how it just shows Brooklyn and those suburbs and how life was like in the late 80s. Because this came out in 89, I want to say. Yes, 1989. And you see this suburb of just mostly African Americans who are just going through their day-to-day, walking on the street, going to the Sal's Pizzeria, who's an Italian who has two sons. He's got two sons, which John Turturro and John Savage are both playing the sons there. And so you have Sal, who owns this pizzeria, and it's a jumbled mess because it's Spike Lee. I mean, he kind of goes all over the place. But at the center of the story, you have this main character who works for Sal, and he's bound between working the wage job at Sal's for this pizzeria, and also backing his African American culture, and also just the people in his neighborhood who are actually the patrons of this entire area. So it's really interesting. It has a crazy kind of middle act near the end, and it kind of ends on a note that I thought was really weird. I get the point, especially back during that time period, but I don't know. I'm a little mixed on it, honestly, and I think none of the characters in this movie were really likable, if that makes any sense. But I get the whole point of what Spike Lee is trying to convey. I really like Black Klansman, and I really get why these modern problems are still talked about today. I'm not trying to say any political statement. Who knows if this is going to be cut or not, because, these things need to be talked about, and that's what I love about film. That's what I love about cinema, is you get to talk about uncomfortable situations with people, and hopefully people will reciprocate and understand where different people's perspectives come from. So anyway, Do the Right Thing. I really liked it. I would say check it out, definitely. It's one of Spike Lee's first films, I want to say. It's a Spike Lee joint, as he does. So a big transition. We're going to go all the way from Brooklyn all the way to New Zealand with The Piano. This is the last movie I just watched recently. I watched this last night. So Sam Neill, Holly Hunter, and Harvey Keitel. It is about Holly Hunter, who is mute, and she's got a daughter, and she also has this piano, and she's sold off to marriage with Sam Neill in New Zealand, and the piano is just too heavy, so they leave it on the beach. Harvey Keitel tries to win Holly Hunter over. He's also in the movie as well. He's got like Maui tattoos. I feel like he was a prisoner of some sort. Like that's how a lot of the Australians and New Zealanders were, a lot of the white people who just came over to those areas. But anyway, Harvey Keitel somehow gets the piano with some of the people to his own place, and more or less gets Holly Hunter, try to fall in love with him, and try to get the piano back. And that's kind of the setup of the movie, and I really liked it. It's really dark, especially how a lot of the guys in this movie are, and they kind of just use Holly Hunter the whole time. I want you to watch it yourself, though. That way you can make your own decisions on this film. So those are the 6 films that I watched over the last 2 weekends. It's Such a Beautiful Day, Suspiria, the Monty Python documentary, Almost the Truth. We got Ghost Stories, we got Do the Right Thing, and we also have The Piano. These are all diverse films and a lot of different things and mediums, but I want to hear your thoughts down below on some of your picks. What do you think of the things that I watched? Did I miss anything out? I really want to know your thoughts and opinions on this stuff, because I really would like to have just different different takes on all these movies. All right, so give this video a like. Don't forget to comment, share this video, and also subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.